Okay, let's go.
I'm the architect of Cat's Lair. I know every turn, nook, and cranny of the system.
Hello, Bots and Books fans, this is Scorp1701, and tonight we are going to be taking a look at another awesome Super 7 Deluxe Thundercats figure. Now, you may remember that the Deluxe figures that Super 7 put out are the same figures that we've got before, except with fewer accessories, but the price tag is a little smaller, and there is kind of difference in the paint job and some other things. Like we got a brand new mold with the Lion-O they put out in the deluxe version, and Tygra here has a few different paint apps that we're going to take a look at. But first off, let's take a look at this awesome packaging. Now, he is in a standard blister card, and here at the top you have DX Deluxe 14 Plus, you have Super 7, you have the awesome Thundercats logo, and then you can see Tygra in the packaging with his boa whip. Awesome Thundercat symbol here. Tygra Deluxe action figure. On the right side of the packaging, you have DX Deluxe. On the left side of the packaging, you have DX Deluxe again. On the bottom of the packaging, you have some credits for the box and an awesome barcode. If you're looking for this figure, you can take a scan of that. Maybe it'll help you find it on the shelves, but they are on the shelves at Target right now. I think that's the only store, but you can find them online at a few retailers if you are interested. Coming around to the back, you have the awesome DX Deluxe symbol and the Super 7, and then you have Thundercats, and then you have this classic artwork that we have seen for years, and this is awesome. It used to be on the back of the original Super 7 Ultimate Thundercats, but they have kind of got rid of it after the first couple waves, and they just gave us some cool artwork of the other Thundercats, but that's cool too. Anyway, that is the packaging of the Deluxe Tygra, and I don't want to see Tygra in the box. I know you don't, so let's get him out and see how cool he really is. And here we have Tygra out of the packaging. Now, the packaging, he stands approximately 7 inches tall, and he comes with his long stringed boa whip, which we'll take a look at in just a moment. But first off, I want to get a closer look at the Thunderian architect himself. And taking a full look at Tygra here, this is a beautiful Tygra. He is well painted, and he is the same sculpt and mold as the Super 7 Ultimate Tygra, except they did add one thing to the mold, and we'll get into that in just a second. But first off, when I have two figures that are pretty much identical except for the paint job, how I like to look at them is both together. So let's bring out the original Ultimate Super 7 Tygra and compare them accordingly. All right. Now, let's jump up to the face sculpts, because the head sculpt pretty much the same, except there is a difference in the coloring. And as you can see, the new Deluxe has a little bit of a lighter orange to it than the darker orange of the Ultimates. And the tiger stripes on the head are pretty much the same design, except I think the Ultimate is a little thicker when it comes to the stripe itself, but the design, you got the two at the top and then two at the mid section and then one coming off to the side here. The stripe pattern is going to be the same. The skin tone on the inside of the face is a little darker on the Ultimates. It's been lightened up a little bit here on the Deluxe, which is, I think, very nice. And if we scroll in even further, I don't know if we can get that into focus, the eyebrows on the Deluxe are a little sleeker and differently designed than they are on the Ultimates. It's very thick and kind of doesn't have a lot of definition to it. The eyes are pretty much the same, nose is pretty much the same, mouth is the same. Coming to the back of the heads, you can see here that the Deluxe got a little sloppy when it came to the Tygra stripes up here at the top, because they got a little too close together and it kind of missed the bottom part here, whereas it's a lot thicker right here on the Ultimates and it's spaced out a little more. So I like that. But as far as the rest of the head sculpt, the white does go up a little more on the Ultimates, but that's okay. It's not one of those details that was really gonna bug me when it comes to Tygra's back of the head. So but coming back around to the front of the figures again and working our way down, the neck is pretty much the same, coming down to the torso and the main costume. And this is where a lot of the cool differences go, which I think the Deluxe does a lot better than the Ultimates. The blues on the Deluxe is a lot more cartoon accurate than what we had with the Ultimates. The Ultimates kind of goes more for that toy aesthetic, but I love these blues on the Deluxe. As you can see, the lighter blue coming around the first panel on Tygra's left shoulder, coming down to the Thundercat symbol, is pretty much the same. It may be a little darker here than it is here, but the main blues right here in his vest section, these are really nicely painted, and these are more of a lighter teal color. I don't like that. This is how I imagine Tygra's coloring, but what kind of throws me off and annoys me that the Ultimates did better was the shoulder pad here has its trimming in gold, whereas there is no gold here on the Deluxe, and that's kind of a bummer. When it comes to the forearms, they're pretty much the same, and you do have the same tiger stripe paneling here, and then you got the lighter orange for the Deluxe as opposed to the dark orange here for the Ultimates. Hands, negligible in differences. I think the hands over here are a little lighter skin toned than on the Ultimates, like we've been seeing throughout. And another thing, you do not have this ugly, dirty wash on his abs on the Deluxe that you have on the Ultimates. This was always a turnoff for me. It kind of made the figure look dirty. I don't know why they did that, but thankfully they took it away here on the Deluxe. I love that. Coming down to the legs are pretty much the same until you get to the boots, and then when you get to the boots, as we scroll in, you can see that the Ultimates boots were painted a lot better than you just have your standard blue color here on the Deluxe. It's not broken up at the top like it is over here on the Ultimates, the darker blue and the gold highlight there in the middle. I really wish that was done on this, but I could do it myself if I was so inclined. And then coming down to the feet themselves, the Ultimates feet are that darker, looks more painted, and I think the Deluxe is just plastic, and that's a big difference, and it's a little cheaper because you don't have to use more paint. And that's pretty much going to be the differences on the front. If we come to the back of the figure, you're going to see where on the Deluxe they added this little piece to the back right elbow. It's supposed to be like an elbow pad that they got here, and it's a single piece glued on there, so that is neat. And so if you go over here to the Ultimates, you don't see that. You just have the elbow painted orange as it comes down. That really never bothered me. In fact, I really never noticed it. In fact, it's on the back of the figure, so the fact that they went through and changed that, I think I would have preferred to have the paint apps other than that little augmentation to the mold. But, you know, some people will like it and enjoy it. So there you go. And that is what your Deluxe Tygra is gonna look like compared to the Ultimates Tygra. And there's a lot of good stuff here. And I love the new darker blues. That kind of looks like the initial promo pic that they were going to put out. Because if you remember, this was the initial promo pic. And unfortunately, I still don't think they got everything in the promo pic in the Deluxe. But, I don't know, give them time. Maybe we will get a third Tygra. Alright, and that is what your Tygra is going to look like. Moving on. And for articulation, now there's nothing new here as opposed to the Ultimates version, but we'll go over it anyway. Starting at the head can go around 360 degrees. You do get a little wiggle waggle forward and backward movement there, so that is nice. Coming to the shoulder can come up from the body and then back down. Can go around 360 degrees, coming down to a nice bicep rotation, 360 degrees there, coming to a elbow bend. Not exactly 90 degrees because of the thickness of the biceps, because you can't get up very far, but it goes as far as it can. And that leads you down to a 360 degree forearm rotation, but that's very tight. Always make sure that you heat up your figures if you are going to be messing with them out of the package for the first time. Coming back down to the hand can go around 360 degrees. It is hinged. You can go in and out, so that is really neat. And coming to the center of the body, you do have a diaphragm crunch right here. It goes down a little bit, back a little bit, and that's pretty much all you get. And then you have 360 degree waist articulation right down there at the waist where it's supposed to be. Coming up the leg, can move forward just a little bit, not much. You can't go back that much either because of the butt. And then out to the side is where you're going to get most of your articulation. You do have 360 degree of thigh rotation here, but be careful because you don't want to jerk the leg out of this diaper type, underwear type section here. Coming down, you do get a nice knee bend. Not exactly 90 degrees again, but then, again, the bulkiness of the joint, that's what you're going to get. Then, coming down, you do have a boot cut, 360 degrees there, coming down to your foot, which is hinged up and down, and you get rock 360 degrees. So, that is some good motion in the foot. So, there you go. Nothing new, nothing we haven't seen before. It's still good. Yeah, still good. And that is your articulation. Moving on. And for accessories, Tygra comes with his boa whip. And this is a really nice one. It's the one with the 3 balls here with the string that measures out to about 17 inches all the way from one point to the handle bottom, and that is really nicely done. And this is cool. He can hold this or wrap this around him if he was so inclined to do so. And if you had the Ultimate Tygra and you brought out your boa whip with him, his was a bit of a darker blue, but still the same mold and sculpt until you got down to the handle, and then the handle was painted gold on the Ultimates, whereas it's just a solid blue plastic here on the Deluxe. So, I don't know, they're both pretty nice to me. If you have the Ultimates, you can interchange the weapons if you're so inclined. It really doesn't matter, I don't think, that much. Also, you could bring out the closed version if you have the Ultimates, and he could hold that, as well as the molded boa whip. And it all looks really good. So whatever Tygra you have, if you want to interchange the weapons, I think you'll be fine there. But the Deluxe here is basically a lighter color, and I like that as well. Alright. So as far as accessories, the boa whip is the only thing that the Deluxe Tygra comes with. The Ultimates Tygra, on the other hand, had an alternate head. And because I love to do comparisons, let's go ahead and swap out each of the heads and see how they look on each other's bodies. So here we have the original heads on the original bodies, which is really neat. And switching them out, there you go. That looks cool. I really don't think the skin tone on the Ultimates is enough to make this look really bad on the Deluxe. So if you want to swap out the heads, I think it would be fine and no one would really notice. And here you have the Ultimates angry head on the Deluxe body. and that looks really good as well. Very got some teeth showing. And that's going to be some alternate head options that you might have if you have the Ultimates Tygra with the Deluxe. Alright, moving on. And full comparison, here you have the Deluxe Tygra with the other Thundercats. Most of these are the Ultimates versions, except for the Lion-O. Lion-O is the Deluxe version. And if you want to see what the original Ultimates Tygra looks like in this group, we will move Lion-O over to the side and bring in the Doppelganger and see which set and coloration that you might like better. I don't know. It looks to me like the Deluxe is the better cartoon accurate Tygra, but again, it's going to be up to personal opinion. If you already have the Ultimates Tygra, do you want to take your time to hunt down the Deluxe? Is the paint that significant to you? I thought so, but that's just me. Alright, and that is going to be your comparisons. Moving on. And this has been the Super 7 Deluxe Thundercats Tygra. And this is a new figure that Super 7 has released in the Deluxe line, but it still is the same sculpt and mold, with the exception of the little elbow piece that we got with the Ultimates Tygra. The few differences are that the paint job is going to be different. It comes with the fewer accessories, and the price is a little bit lower. So those may be things that draw your attention to it if you didn't pick up the Ultimates Tygra. Now for me, I was going back and forth on getting this figure. I really loved the new darker blue paint job on the figure's torso, but I really couldn't decide if that was enough to make me purchase the figure. In fact, I kept going back and forth on it so much that Queen Bravo herself actually picked the figure up off the shelf and said, "Let's go." So thank you, Queen Bravo, for helping me make this decision. But I'm very happy with this figure. I do love the blues. Is a lot better than the other one. I love the fact that they got rid of the wash that made him look dirty. The only thing that I'm annoyed with is there's no gold on the shoulder pad, and the gold spots on the boots are now gone, but I can do that myself. In fact, because of how the boots are made, the whole foot can probably be replaced from the Ultimates if I was so inclined to do that. I've repainted my figures before, but kind of getting tired of doing that, especially when in the solicitation pictures we get a perfectly good Tygra. Why can't they just give us that? All that being said, I love this figure. And if you're looking to start a Super 7 Thundercats collection yourself, or just want to add Tygra to your collection, you can find him right now on the shelves at your local Target stores and at online retailers. And he will go somewhere between $35 to $38 depending on where you pick him up. So if you are looking for him, happy hunting. And that's it, guys. That is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great night. And until next time, keep playing.